In light of reaching 20,000 subscribers on the channel,
totally worth it. We did it. We just pulled it off.
I decided to make a special video, a mashup of Rick from Rick and Morty and Spider-Man. In this video, I will talk about the cartoon series Rick and Morty and tell you what I thought of this once-in-a-lifetime amazing experience.
An entire afternoon at Blips and Chips! Oh, this place is the best.
I will also talk about the creation of the character and give some tips and tricks throughout the video, especially since this character proved to have many challenges, hence a lot to learn from. If you want a more in-depth future video on the creation of the character, let me know in the comment section below and I will do a making of / tutorial on him. Make sure to watch till the end of the video as I will also show you some cool real-time Spider Rick in Blender EEVEE and also give some fun facts that you might have not known about the show. While we're at it, here are some online comments on Spider Rick's tight bottom. Enjoy.
Wubba lubba dub dub!
Before getting into the show, a quick few things. I made this character completely with Blender, a free 3D program. The character took me a whopping 20 hours plus, but that is mainly due to the challenges I had, which I will talk about later in the video. Last but not least, in the background, you will see the time-lapse of the creation of Spider Rick, including the sculpting, texturing, Blender EEVEE, and the final rendering. Rick and Morty is an American science fiction comedy show by Justin Roiland and Dan Harmon on Adult Swim. The cartoon revolves around two main characters, Rick, a cynical mad scientist, and his worked-up grandson, Morty. This show will take you on an amazing ride of interdimensional adventures of Oz, woes, and laughter.
Holy shit! This guy's taking Roy off the grid! This guy doesn't have a social security number for Roy!
As of now, there are 3 seasons, with the 4th one being mentioned in the post-credits scene of the 3rd season's finale. That said, the 4th season is not expected to air any sooner than late 2019. Even though this show is comedic and fictional, don't be fooled, as it has many deeper meanings on life, such as family, marriage, and more.
Now, I haven't been exactly subtle about how little I trust marriage. I couldn't make it work and I could turn a black hole into a sun. What are the odds this is legit, not just some big lie we're all telling ourselves because we're afraid to die alone?
To avoid any spoilers, I will let you discover these magical moments when you watch the show. The character you will be seeing on the screen is Rick. You see, Rick is a cynical alcoholic mad scientist who I believe to be the strongest part of the show. His attitude of self-serving genius combined with an opposite but great combination of his grandson's good-natured and easily manipulated personality.
Now you know the real reason I rescued you. I just took over the family, Morty. All right, come on, Morty, let's go.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Oh, man, Rick. What is this place?
Will take you on a roller coaster of different emotions and infinite world possibilities. Hence the idea I had of mashing up Spider-Man with Rick. I like to think of it as 2 possibilities. Either Rick created a spider to turn himself into Spider Rick, or Spider Rick is simply from a parallel universe. Sure, there are other scenarios like Rick playing costume on Halloween, but highly unlikely. I would love to know what other possibilities you can think of. Let me know in the comment section below. I highly recommend this show to anyone. Even if you've never found the American cartoon style appealing, I promise you it will grow on you. Rick and Morty was my gateway to many other awesome cartoon series such as Gravity Falls, South Park, and American Dad. If you have any recommendations for me, I would love to hear it, so let me know. Creating Spider Rick in 3D came with many challenges. Here are some of the challenges and how I went about dealing with them. First of all, I had to deal with 2 different worlds and styles. A very stylized cartoon from Rick and Morty's universe and a more realistic style of Spider-Man. A big appeal of Spider-Man's look is from the muscular definitions that would have been lost if I took Rick and Morty's body style. However, making Rick's face too realistic would have removed from the cartoony appeal that I wanted to preserve. I decided to settle down with a mix of both by adjusting the proportions of the body and removing some of the realism from it while adding some to Rick's face. It turned out to work pretty well. Another challenge is the infamous translation of 2D to 3D art. A misconception is that you can't recreate a 2D character exactly the same way in 3D. That, however, is untrue. The issue here is that Rick's front view and profile view is not consistent in the show. To deal with this, I chose what I found to be appealing of both angles and mixed them up to make sense out of the character in a 3D space. For example, you will notice in some parts of the show that the mouth of Rick seems flat from the front view, especially if he has his mouth wide open. In the profile view, his mouth would go back to behind his eyes. In this specific scenario, I sculpted the mouth to stop around the beginning of the eye line. Another issue was how Rick's squished head from the profile did not translate well with the Spider-Man's body. So I dealt with that by adding more hair spikes in the back to add some width and even things out. Another challenge was the dynamic pose I was going for, which we can see in the concept that I painted in the top right corner of Blender. Keep in mind, I release a video every Thursday, and it takes a lot more time to make one than it might seem. In order to finish a character in time and create a video out of him or her, I have to take as many shortcuts as possible. In that light, creating Spider Rick in a neutral pose, then rigging him to an extreme pose, like in the final render, would take a lot of work, since I would have to do a proper retopology of the character and still end up having to do post-rigging corrections for that pose. Hence, I decided to sculpt Spider Rick almost pose ready. That said, sculpting a character in that pose where all of the elements are practically crossing each other will have different outcomes. One thing I made sure of is to sculpt the limbs and any part that is touching another separately. That is until I felt comfortable combining them with the Boolean tool in Blender. I also had to take texturing into account, so I made sure to keep things symmetrical in order to make my life easier later on with the texturing phase. And finally, I just used a simple rig to break the symmetry after I was done with the character. You will notice that I did have to change the pose of the arms and hands at a point during the sculpting phase from a straight flexed position to a more relaxed one to avoid any muscle deformations when rigging. A big challenge was the webs around Spider-Man's costume. Now there are many ways to do it. For example, I could have textured it and used the displacement for a depth effect, or maybe even use the wireframe modifier. That said, these methods would raise some problems that I did not want to deal with, so instead I decided to manually model it. And what a mistake that was. I'm just kidding. It did turn out to look cool, but it did take a lot longer than I have anticipated to make a clean look out of it. It also restricts the flexibility of Rick, since any big changes in the pose would require more tweaking with the web and or the rig. I have to say, there's a lot to teach from the creation of Spider Rick. If you are interested, I can make a making of with a more in-depth look on how I made him in Blender, and another video on Spider-Man's costume showing how I textured and rendered it. All you have to do is let me know that you would want that in the comment section below. If there's enough interest, I will make the videos in the near future. Before getting to some fun facts about the show, here's some fun with Spider Rick in Blender EEVEE, which is in real time. If you've never heard of Blender EEVEE before, I've made a video on it with the title "What is Blender EEVEE?" so make sure to check it out. In that video, I give a relaxed explanation on it and show you some demos with the engine from other great artists. Okay, so here are some fun facts of Rick and Morty before I let you guys go. Also, if you guys enjoyed the video up until now, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. Sharing it with your friends would also be a huge help. I am also considering doing more of these specials for every subscriber milestone on the channel. So let me know in the comment section below which character or character mashup you would like me to do for when we hit 30,000 subscribers. Hopefully sooner than later. Fun fact number 1. The show originated from an animated parody film of Back to the Future: The Real Animated Adventures of Doc and Marty, which was created by Roiland. Roiland at that time was actually having fun poking sticks on the dragons. By dragons, I mean the big studios. He made that parody as a way to troll the idea of getting cease and desist letters. What a troll. Fun fact number 2. Dan Harmon is also the creator of the show Community. If you haven't watched that show yet, you definitely should. Fun fact number 3. Many of the characters are voiced by the same person, Justin Roiland. Some examples are the two main characters, Rick and Morty, Mr. Poopy Butthole, yes, you heard that right, and many more.
Steve wasn't real?
He's a real piece of shit.
Ooh wee! Whatever you want, Rick. We're here to help.
You would think one major role in the show would be enough, but I guess not. Fun fact number 4. The famous burps Rick slips out during conversations is apparently a good excuse for Royland to drink low-calorie beer. I guess with greatness comes responsibility, but not accountability to your beer belly. Wait, did I do a Spider-Man pun?
Yeah, bro.
Fun fact number 5. This one is a just do it learning moment for all of us. The show's pilot was written in 6 hours. I will say this again for all of you who want to be artists or anything else, just freaking do it.
Just do it!
Fun fact number 6. Rick's catchphrase wubba-lubba-dub-dub used to punctuate jokes actually translates to I am in great pain, please help me in the language of bird people. That just makes me love Rick's twisted personality even more.
Wubba lubba dub dub!
In my people's tongue, it means, I am in great pain. Please help me.
I had great fun creating Spider Rick. Complete kudos to the creators of both Rick and Morty and Spider-Man, 2 shows that gave me fun times. It is now time that you guys go watch it because you too deserve some fun times. Like, subscribe, and share if you enjoyed this video, and leave a comment below letting me know what your favorite cartoon is, what was your favorite Rick and Morty moment, and what character would you like me to create for the next subscriber milestone. I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more awesome character sculpts and art related videos. You can also check out my store for full courses on character sculpting, texturing, materials, brushes, and more. Last but not least, if you enjoyed this video, then you will definitely enjoy the next one.